One of which was that the Biafrans said, we accept the current structure, which then was a 12-state structure. And that B or C of it was that any future change must bring all Nigerians on the table to agree. And that these were the things they signed at the instrument of surrender, but that the military unilaterally subsequently changed the structure without then the participation of the other side. And he argues that this is against the instrument of the surrender, and that no wonder the Southeast has been marginalized out of it, 5 states out of the others having 6 and 7, as the case may be. Now there is the issue of unitary fiscal federalism instead of 1963 Abuja. The development process is a trickle down from Abuja to the rest instead of a bottom-up economic and development arrangement. The census and revenue allocation that disadvantages the Southeast. There is the citizenship question. The Igbos think they become visitors everywhere all over the country. When it is time for census, the Southeast complain that they are about the only ethnic group that have maybe a majority of their people living outside of their homeland. And that during census, their populations are counted in the states where they live. Imagine a state, and then population becomes basis for sharing the oil money in Abuja. When it is time for that, you count them in there. You don't ask for state of origin in the census. But then, you use also the population to get the allocations. But when it is time to share anything else, you remind them that they don't belong here, as the case may be. So there have been issues about citizenship question, and so on and so forth. So, in other words, this system, it's not just the Southeast or the Igbos that complain. It has not worked for Nigeria. And my thesis is that even if any government, including this one, just have all the political appointments from one village, my thesis is that the life of the average person in that village will not change. Just rewind it again, and think the other way. The last regime, we had an Ebele Azikiwe as president. We had secretary to government. We had minister of finance and coordinating minister on the economy. We had all of this, deputy senate president, this, that, and so on and so forth. Most of the financial institutions headed by people from the Southeast. And yet, there is no motorable federal highway in Igbo land. This thing is an elite game, as far as I'm concerned. The issue of who and whatever and so on and so forth is not taking us anywhere. And unless we get to the heart of it. So, it seems that there is a consensus today. There is a consensus. If you take it much broadly, the North, so-called North, if you calculate the number of years they were in power, but essentially, poverty is still predominantly a northern phenomenon. So, that you control this and a few billionaires are made here and there and so on and so forth means absolute nothing. The ordinary man in Nigeria has not benefited, is getting worse off by the current system that we have. But there is a consensus now on restructuring. And in that case, Fodile would argue that Biafra becomes a metaphor for agitation by oppressed people for justice, equity, and fairness. It hasn't worked for anybody. If you look at President Buhari recently said he also supports amendment of the Constitution or devolution. If you read the APC manifesto, it says, quote, as a change agent, APC intends to cleanse our closet to halt the dangerous drift of Nigeria to a failed state, with a conscious plan for post-oil economy in Nigeria. To achieve this laudable program, APC government shall restructure the country, devolve power to the units with the best practices of federalism, and eliminate unintended paralysis of the center. End of quote. This is the government in power that controls 23 states. This is the APC manifesto. So, and the Southern People's Assembly talk about the same thing. The Afenifere's position on the National Conference, if you read it, talks about the same thing. The National Conference report talks, supported by PDP, the same thing. So what is holding us? I must say the goal of this bit should be political stability and economic prosperity. In my view, a competitive federalism. We can write a book on this aspect of competitive federalism. Compared to the First Republic, when everybody had theirs, they had the resources, especially on revenue, a fiscal federalism. We've argued before, leave everybody their own thing, let them pay taxes to the center. This umbilical cord where Abuja will set wage for everybody all over the country, and so on and so forth. It was for a time when oil money paid for it, not anymore. Even in the US, you may have read about the governor of Maine, that the wife of the governor had to take a job in a restaurant to augment their income. Because given the state of Maine, the salary of the governor was not enough for them to survive on. And the wife had to take a job in a restaurant. The governor of Maine's salary cannot be the same as the mayor of New York, and so on and so forth. But here we've done all of this. Abuja controls it. Anyway, that's for another day. But what is holding us now, what I call as matter arising, is that the devil is in the details. Let the debate begin. What exactly do we mean by restructuring? The National Conference report, for example, is a beginning. But in my view, doesn't go much. It talks about creating more states, which misses the point. It's still more of the same. We are saying the ones that you have are not viable. 20-something states today cannot pay salaries. So what are we talking about? Or should we go back to the MNK'S constitution, the proposal of 6 zonal structure as the federating units? What model of federation? Should we use the UAE, United Arab Emirates system, or which one are we going? Let us get to work and begin to think. Some people propose, and I agree, that we need a new constitution negotiated by the people of Nigeria. And my thesis is that if this is the only achievement of President Buhari, he would be the greatest statesman ever in the mode of Abraham Lincoln. But we need to get this done. That the people of Nigeria will have to get together and negotiate a new constitution for themselves. Second, or the third point, is leadership failure in Igbo land. It raises fundamental questions if you read Chude's book on the collapse of failure of leadership in Igbo land and the search for the new one, whatever. It's in that light it agitates your mind when we talk about the Igbo presidency. What does that actually mean? Is it to have somebody wearing a red cap in the villa, or what? If all that we say, even within the states, a governor is first his village, his local government, then his senatorial zone, so that he can be Ocholo Ozwa of his own local government or his village, and so on and so forth, then let the others care. Is that the kind of leadership we are talking about Nigeria, or in the new Biafra, as it were? And we have seen it, like I said, about people occupying offices and so on and so forth, and still nothing. So the question is, the same contradictions in Nigeria are also there within Igbo land. We cry of marginalization at the larger Nigeria, but there is also cries of marginalization within. There is the identity question within. There is the citizenship and indigenship question within. How many other Igbos live in Aba and in Abia, for example? But, I don't know, 2 years or 3 years ago, that was the indigenship thing, that all non-Abia citizens were sacked from but these people had lived there, worked there, paid their taxes there. they were counted as part of Abia in the census. You collect revenue, more revenue because of them, but then, no, you can't walk in there, you are not an indigent. So while we are pointing one finger there, ladies and gentlemen, look closely. The other three are saying, let's get it here. And so how can this new leadership emerge? With and then of course the entry fee is very high. The fourth, the new Biafranism, and that is my last point. And let me say that Nigeria has wittingly or unwittingly dragged the Biafran issue from the periphery into the mainstream discussion. Nnamdi Kanu, in my view, threw a bait and Nigeria took it. Today, he is the most popular political prisoner.
Zoo, lies and deceit. If not for the coming of IPOB, of Radio Biafra, all of you would have lived and died in the ignorance that Ojukwu caused a war. That's what they were writing. Britain helped them to write it. Ojukwu was a rebel, a secessionist, because we had no media. That is why they're paying Facebook billions upon billions of US dollars to stop this truth from coming out. Did Ojukwu cause any war? Gowon is alive, go and ask him. Did Ojukwu cause any war? Ojukwu went and negotiated restructuring with you in Aburi. You came back, Britain told you not to agree because Britain realized that all the component units of Britain knows that if you go back to regionalism, you will have economic growth. The country will do very well. But Britain doesn't want it. That was why they even instigated the Nzogwu coup, so-called Nzogwu coup, saying they will bring Awolowo to become the head of state. They knew what was going to happen. They wanted to truncate the economic miracle of Dr. Michael. But what I'm telling you are fast. Go and investigate for yourself. In the East, you had the fastest growing economy in the whole world, over 40% every year. In the West, Awolowo was performing his own miracle as well. Even in the North, Ahmadu Bello and Tafawa Balewa were doing very well. You had all those massive industries in the North. You even had Alamajiris that were employed in the North, meaningfully employed, gainfully employed. They were all doing very well. Britain said, no, for us to control these people, we need to impoverish them. Let us introduce this war. That was a coup by Nzogwu. And after that, there was the massacre of, as usual, massacre of our people in the North. Ojukwu said, I have to secure my land and my people. They said, no, let's go to Aburi to discuss it. Ojukwu went to Aburi and agreed restructuring. That's something now you're asking for. To tell you how foolish Nigerians are. They're very foolish. That same nonsense you're asking for now was discussed many years ago. Ojukwu sat down in Aburi with Gowon and decided that regionalism was the best way forward. Restructuring, going back to who you were, 1963 Constitution, 1963 Constitution. Be on your own and pay tax to the central government, as they have in America, as they have even in Britain. Britain, you have Scotland that is almost independent. Wales, the same thing. Everybody is free. But Britain doesn't want the same thing they're enjoying to happen in Nigeria. Why? Ask yourself that question. Anybody telling you about one Nigeria is your enemy. I'll prove it to you now. Ojukwu negotiated devolution, regionalism. The North will be on their own, the West on their own, even Middle Belt on their, Midwest on their own, and then the East on their own. It's the same one Nigeria. On their way to the airport, before they boarded the aircraft, a call came from Lagos, from the British High Commissioner in Lagos to Gowon, telling Gowon not to agree, after having signed the agreement. That same Gowon you're looking at today, God kept me alive so that he can witness the destruction he will bring upon that very zoo called Nigeria. Gowon said no. Do you know all the journalists in Nigeria, none of them have ever gone to Gowon to ask him, why did he say no to Aburi? Aburi was restructuring. None of those agitating for restructuring right now has ever gone to Gowon or gone to Nigeria to say, but Ojukwu negotiated restructuring. What happened? They came back and they said, no, Ojukwu said, okay, so you want to continue to kill my people all over the place? No. Because of that, I'll declare Biafra. Today, they have brainwashed all of you with the perverse notion and thinking that somehow Ojukwu is responsible for causing a war, when opposite is the case. If not now, that after many years of hammering on this very topic, it has now sunk into the skull of the people that Gowon was the aggressor, not Ojukwu. That's how Nigeria is, always blaming the victim. And we lost over 5 million people during that very genocidal war. They killed over 5 million Biafrans. They wanted to wipe us away from the face of this very earth. But we survived it, and we are here today. Those they gave birth to, they have come. And this time with a wrath that you cannot even begin to imagine. And Biafra must come. It must come. There are two things plaguing them in the zoo.
Okay, Biafra must come. Biafra must come, of course. It is our slogan. Good evening, good morning, good afternoon, great and wonderful people of Biafra, lovers of freedom all over the world. I greet you. I welcome you according to your time zone. While you are joining us, share the video, invite others to join. We are live and direct. We are live on YouTube at Judge Money Blog Africa. We are live on Twitter at Judge Money C. We are live on Facebook at Judge Money Official, at Judge Money/TV, as Judge Money Blog, at other Facebook platform. While you are joining us, share the video, invite others to join. It is very, very important. Of course, you can see what we are here to do this evening. It is going to be quite interesting because of, if you look around, if you look at the poster that we have right in front of the screen, on the other hand is Joe Biden, and in the middle of it, it is your so-called president or your president-select. On the other hand is Mr. Inasorok, which you see what is titled on that picture there. From the Tinubu's one, you see during the prayer section, special prayer will be offered for the peace and unity and progress of Nigeria. Now, you see that is exactly what we're going to reflect on. On the other, top right, you will see Mohammed Buhari move to strengthen Nigeria relationship with Iran. I've been looking for this, actually, this picture, but I couldn't find it in a while. And down there on the left, lower left, you will see Wole Soyinka. Of course, all of us are aware of whom Wole Soyinka is. Wole Soyinka is a legend. As long as that zoo country called Nigeria is concerned, he is a legend, and there is no way you can take it from him. He is a prominent Nigerian playwright, poet, and political activist who recently made some controversial political statement against certain Nigeria presidential candidates. So, no matter how you feel or think about this guy called Wole Soyinka, you should not forget, or you will never take away from him, that he is a legend, a Nigerian legend, in his poet, literature, and recently a political activist. So we are going to be talking about the recent backlash he is getting from the comment he made against Dirty Group or Obedient Group on his interview with, I believe, Arise TV. We're going to bring that one. We're going to bring exactly the reason why he actually came in to make such statement. On the other hand, you see Ada Biafra. Ada Biafra. I know that so many of them, they have not spoken about Biafra, but they have Biafra blood in them, and they will never deny it. Or maybe they are still in denial of understanding the fact that they are Biafrans, and Biafra is the only way. Ada Biafra, you are welcome. Ada Biafra, we are going to talk about your letter to Mr. President Joe Biden and the reaction and the backlash you are getting from some of these APC affiliated and other one Nigerianists against your letter to Mr. President of America, of the United States rather. So, of course, you have gotten, an attack. You have gotten an attack, especially the one we are going to be reflecting on. It is the one, that one of, Tinubu's new media personnel, which is Femi Fani-Kayode. So, he is the one leading the attack on Ada Biafra, Chimamanda Adichie, a legend based in the United States, whom her level of her intellect is incomparable to anyone in that zoological republic called Nigeria. And that is the reason why we are going to bring her, discuss her letter to Mr. President. While we are discussing her letter to Mr. President, of course, you have seen during the backlash against Wole Soyinka, you have seen that Autopilot, the chief infiltrator, Eberima in Finland, wrote in his page that he is calling on a debate. He is calling for Soyinka to come to debate with him. Now, what caught my attention on that article that he wrote, or on that statement, I will call it, let me call it statement he made that he want to, or request, request he made. He want to be on a debate with Wole Soyinka. And now he wrote about being on a debate with Wole Soyinka, and he said he want to tell him the reason why there must be a freedom for Biafra, or there must be disintegration of Nigeria. I might not be able to quote him verbatim, but in that regard, I will say to myself, I've been actually contemplating and asking myself, doing a lot of plus and minus to understand how necessary is it really for Eberima in Finland, who claim he is fighting for Biafra restoration, freedom for the people, and who actually called for no election in Biafra land during the election campaign. And if not that we actually make sure that we sideline him, to make sure that we notify Biafrans across the world, home and abroad, that this guy does not mean well for any of them, because the only thing he wanted to do was to actually make a move that they will blame it on IPOB and Mazen Nnamdi Kanu. So we make sure we nullify all that call of him after negotiating with Tinubu's boys in the name of forming alliance for Biafra and Biafra restoration. So now the same person who is Wole Soyinka, that is against the Obi, that you wanted to boycott election for him not to actually emerge as a Nigeria president before February 25, 2023. It is on his behalf now so-called, because if you want to talk about interview with or debate with Wole Soyinka or media debate with Wole Soyinka, that means you are actually now fighting Wole Soyinka, or you are actually, with those who are giving the statement of Wole Soyinka a backlash in the media against obedient movement. So what exactly are you now trying to defend Obi for? Obi, that you have done everything in order to make sure he is not successful. So this is actually what is boggling my mind. I just thought I will bring it to you. We are going to be having interactive session while we are at it. So by the time we get there, I want you to pay very good attention before we get there on what we are going to do this evening, morning, and afternoon, depending on where you are. Share the video, invite others to join. We are live and direct. It is 10 minutes on top of the hour, regardless of where you are. In Biafra land, it is 10 minutes on top of 8 o'clock. Okay, it's 10 past 8 in Biafra land, the land of Elohim, where there is 0 latitude and 0 longitude. So we are here, right, to make sure we bring, we actually make the record straight. Number one, many people have actually written a lot of, things against Wole Soyinka. I am going to start from there. There has been many writings, but before we go to what people are saying about Wole Soyinka, let us actually bring to you the statement of Wole Soyinka, because I am going to try to wait to see the, this broadcast, if it is going to be stable or if they are going to act against us before I actually bring more people into the program. But while we are at it, let us actually, look at what we have. Now let me show you exactly the reason why Wole Soyinka is receiving all these attacks from the media space. And I will show you one of the attacks that caught my eye, that I said I must speak about it. Listen to this.
Which part or what part of...
I know that Facebook will start kicking you out. If Facebook kick you out, bring yourself back up, because this is the game they play all the time. Bring yourself back up. Continue to share the video wherever you are watching from. Don't mind them, because this is their game, how they play it. Let me be sure. I hope we are coming out clear. All right. Now let me bring to you this Wole Soyinka's where is okay, this is what we are going to be looking into right now. I am going to bring it in now. Pay very good attention. Pay very good attention to hear what is the reason why Wole Soyinka was getting backlash.
Senator Dati Ahmed's statement was unbecoming.
Okay. Nearly the totality. Listen, the interviewer asked him several times. He said, what will you do if the Supreme Court judgment is against you? If the interpretation which you are offering about the constitutional aspect of this election, if it is against that of the Supreme Court and they find against you. And he kept saying, no, it's not even open to analysis. Because the word says and it's very clear. And the Supreme Court, in its wisdom, had better give this, in other words, his interpretation. I mean, this is trying to dictate to the supreme arbiter of the nation. Whatever you think of the Supreme Court, it is an institution we all revert to sooner or later. If not today, then tomorrow. If not about this election, maybe about the next election. But Dati kept saying, no, the Supreme Court has got, in its wisdom, to agree with me. That is what is known as fascistic language. It is not acceptable. And for me, it alienates people. It alienates even supporters. I know this for a fact. People come to, you know how I relate to young people. I relate to those who have found certain problems with the spokespeople of this particular movement. I'm not interested in the other ones. Everybody knows the other movements. But there's a new boy on the block, as the expression stays. And many of us have been waiting for that new kid on the block. And so we have a stake in it. And wherever it seems to be going wrong, we're going to tell the truth.
Which part or what part of Senator Dati Ahmed's statement was unbecoming?
With us, that's all. But go and watch that tape all over again. Okay. Introduce that tape the totality. To any kind of interviewer jury asked him several times, members of whom don't even know anything. What will you do about the Nigerian Supreme Court judgment? Talk about body language, talk about vocal language, talk about the actual which are offering about the constitutional aspect of this election. It is intimidation, and it's not acceptable. I refuse to be part of that kind of language. The Supreme Court, and they find against you. And they kept saying, no, it's not even open to analysis, because the word says and it's very clear. And the Supreme Court, in its wisdom, had better give this, in other words, his interpretation. I mean, this is trying to dictate to the supreme arbiter of the nation. Whatever you think of the Supreme Court, it is an institution we all revert to sooner or later. If not today, then tomorrow. If not about this election, maybe about the next election. But Dati kept saying, no, the Supreme Court has got, in its wisdom, to agree with me. That is what is known as fascistic language. It is not acceptable. And for me, it alienates people. It alienates even supporters. I know this for a fact. People come to, you know how I relate to young people. I relate to those who have found certain problems with the spokespeople of this particular movement. I'm not interested in the other ones. Everybody knows the other movements. But there's a new boy on the block, as the expression stays. And many of us have been waiting for that new kid on the block. And so we have a stake in it. And wherever it seems to be going wrong, we're going to tell the truth to that new kid. And the supporters who also say they have allied thinking with us, that's all. But go and watch that tape all over again. Introduce that tape to any kind of neutral jury, members of whom don't even know anything about the Nigerian situation. Talk about body language, talk about vocal language, talk about the actual text of Dati's pronouncement. This is intimidation. And it's not acceptable. I refuse to be part of that kind of language.
Thank you very much for that sound Gozier material. Thank you very much. It is now, of course, so many of you will recall the statement made by Dati, the vice presidential candidate to Obedient Movement. Now he said that if Tinubu is sworn in as a president of Nigeria that it is going to be the end of democracy in Nigeria. And now, which was one of the things he said. And he also said exactly what Wole Soyinka was reacting to. Wole Soyinka said that the speech of Dati alienates people. And, Wole Soyinka is a person who is very, very, he is a very, very, educated man. He is very educated man. And he is now old person who is supposed to be, making sure that his legacy does not have any stain on it. So, I don't know, will I say that he is coming towards this dimension because of one thing or the other. I don't want to actually go the way the Nigerianists, one Nigerianist who are believing that there is something is going to come out of one Nigeria. I don't want to go the way they responded to him. I want to respond to him differently as a freedom fighter and a political activist. Because I understand exactly what this guy is doing here, what he did here. Now, number one, he talked about alienation, which is something I do not agree with Wole Soyinka. That is something I don't agree with him. Because if you talk about alienation or your voice that is alienating, it means that you are in denial that Nigeria is actually divided. Nigeria is actually marginalizing part of, so-called part of it. It is not actually the Dati's statement that is alienating, it is actually Nigeria and what it stands for. Because when you talk about alienation, you don't need to hear Dati's speech in order for you to know that Biafran people are actually isolated in Nigeria. We don't need anybody to remind us that we are isolated. We are marginalized. We are being treated differently like a third-class citizen of the Zoological Republic called Nigeria, which actually led to the agitation, which actually also led to Igbo presidency, even though calling on Igbo presidency does not make sense if there is actual something called, resolution, or, that Nigeria is going to come to a resolution that will help her to thrive. Calling on saying Igbo presidency, it is actually doesn't make sense. But, however, it is what it is. We have come to this point. So in this point, we are going to now respond to it. When Wole Soyinka talk about people feeling or making people feel isolated, I don't think that anybody in their right state of mind, any Biafran in their right state of mind, need Dati to speak to channel television in order for them to know that they are being marginalized. It is already there, and I'm actually disappointed that Wole Soyinka is in denial of it. I am disappointed that he's in denial of it. And, upon this, I have seen so many, people who responded to him. Like, there is a write-up from somebody. which I am going to read. I am going to read it for for you, because I want to bring them together before I actually give my own opinion. Nigeria have overrated Wole Soyinka. That is an article, but that is written by. It is written by, somebody that is very good at writing. Just read it. I will mention the name after the reading. Nigeria have overrated Wole Soyinka, someone who initiated pirate cult that has taken over 1.5 million Nigerian youth. Is not a responsible man, but a mere overrated gangster. He instituted a social evil cult that have eliminated. One moment, let me bring more people into the program before we proceed, please. Let us get more people into the program before we proceed, because it is very, very important what we are doing right now. So, let me continue to read. So he said that, but a mere overrated gangster, he instituted a social evil cult that have eliminated over 1.8 million Nigeria youth at various universities across Nigeria. Wole Soyinka may have good command of English language, but Igbo Ayaka, I believe he's the writer, is above him in intellectualism. No language is superior than the other. I agree with you. And knowing a particular language is the best yardstick to score intelligence. Many Chinese that have invented many things don't speak or know English language. Does it make Wole Soyinka ahead of a Chinese inventor? Of course, the answer is no. During the Biafra genocide against Ndigbo in 1967 to 1970, many weapons used by Biafran soldiers were locally made by some university graduates and undergraduates. Does speaking English make Wole Soyinka ahead of Igbo engineers whose intellectualism made it possible to invent war weapons during the war? Wole Soyinka lifestyle have not even modeled Nigeria society, but it was just social ill and life of gangsterism he introduced in the university system. Wole Soyinka Nobel Prize was a mere honor on misconception of intellectualism. He lacked nobility and integrity. To what extent has Wole Soyinka literal work tackled or solved the problem of Nigeria? Just one moment. One moment, let's see what we got here. All right, let's do this. Let's bring more people into the program before we proceed. So, I can see we are stable. Okay, there we go. So, let me continue to read. For those of you who are joining us, you have option to rewind to see where we have, what we have actually achieved, but we are just starting. So let me continue to read the article written against Wole Soyinka, which is part of the backlash that he is getting after his, media statement against Dati and Obedient Movement, which he talked about, alienating, the reason why I believe people are giving him this backlash is because of, most importantly, when he talk about making people feel isolated, of course, we all know and we are aware that Igbo people, Biafrans, they have been feeling isolated, or they have been marginalized. So they are isolated in that country called Nigeria. So they don't feel the sense of belonging. They don't actually, imagine a country that has been independent since 1960. This path of this nation has never made a president from that country called Nigeria. So that is the reason why this backlash is coming out, because he said that is statement is alienating. So that is the reason why I am reading one of these backlash. Okay, let me continue. What has he offered on the table of national cause? Those literal works which of the sector of the government of Nigeria has caused effectiveness. Even our education system is the most poorest in Africa. Ghana is now ahead of Nigeria. Wole Soyinka has not led an effective peace mission in Nigeria. In the political landscape of Nigeria, Wole Soyinka is effective and unproductive. Nobel Prize. What has it offered to the economic or political survival of Nigeria? Wole Soyinka is among men of many awards, yet living in a stinking, corrupt country for 88 years. No economic or political impact, yet at the very last minute of his life, he could key into a new productive Nigeria. All he can do is to speak grammar. Nobel Prize that could shape the political and economic future of Nigeria is an ordinary mere title. Wole Soyinka is an ordinary playwright whose works couldn't add value to political economic growth of Nigeria. These old men of Wole Soyinka's type should bow down in shame. Their generation is a huge and irredeemable disappointment to Nigeria. Comrade Igbo Ayaka or Igbo Ayaka. So this is the author of this, piece that I just read to you, that was written against Wole Soyinka. So in this regard, I want you now to know, this is part of it. There are many more, even from Charlie Boy. He said that this man, he used to respect this man, but right now he is no longer having any atom of respect for Wole Soyinka, because Wole Soyinka is a man who is supposed to be standing on the side of the truth, because he has been respected by so many young people and so many Nigerians, in the to the extent that he formed a gangster group which is called Pirate. So many people, young people, joined, and today, without knowing exactly what was the reason why he formed such group, because this group, I don't believe that they are representing what they are actually put up out there for. I don't want to emphasize on that, because I don't know the reason why he formed such group. But if such group has taken the life of 1.8 million youth, according to the writer, I don't think that the group meant well for anybody in such environment. So Wole Soyinka, if he is actually overrated, we are going to actually find out this evening, because he said that somebody's opinion is going to make people feel isolated. And, it is actually bringing me to the fact that he is in denial that people are isolated in Nigeria, that people are actually, isolated, marginalized, intimidated at all time in Nigeria. So I don't think you need any politician to speak something that will make you feel isolated in Nigeria. So that is exactly part of the, his argument that I don't agree with. Now, coming to the general argument of Wale Soyinka is in support of his brother called Tinubu. Regardless of the health condition of this his brother, he is in support of his brother, and I want us to understand that you must support your own. You must support your own. And that is exactly what Yorubas has been using in order to, be one step ahead of the Biafrans. Because Wale Soyinka is supporting his own, regardless of the crime that their own is committing. He is supporting them regardless of the election rigging, regardless of all the atrocities committed inside that Nigeria. In the name of election, he stood to support his own people. That is exactly what I am seeing here, because so many of you are seeing a man who is overrated. If you say he's overrated, I will not disagree with you. I will not agree with you, because if you have, having seen his activities in the recent years, you will understand that knowing English and speaking it eloquently or writing it eloquently does not make you, of course, an intellect. Because if such people are supposed to make a difference, and having known that he is a one Nigerianist, I don't think he's supposed to be on the side that will make people to feel alienated, because that is exactly what he is preaching. Because whatever he is doing right now, he is doing what make people to feel isolated in Nigeria. That is exactly what he's saying, because he is now promoting somebody whom the people say that they did not vote for. Because in a democratic dispensation, of course, we know that power belongs to the people and power is given by the people. So I don't know if there is, anything. Okay, just 1 minute. 1 minute. I am trying to find my... Okay, we are here. We are live. So having seen that he is in his age and having been celebrated in Nigeria, and so many people look up to him as an intellect, which he is actually positioned to be, to make a difference in the midst of noise, he will come out and speak as an intellectual, as an elderly person, as a well-renowned person in the society, in order to make sure that he maintain his legacy. But what he did is to come and be in denial of people feeling isolated in Nigeria. That is where I am standing upon in order to respond to him. Because whatever he is, actually arguing about, it doesn't make sense. All of us are aware of the election malpractices that happened on the 25th of February 2023. In the name of presidential election, there were ballot box snatching, there were intimidation, they were voting according to your place of origin. You cannot vote here, you should go back home and vote. There are many things that transpired, which it actually triggered the minds of the people who rallied about this young man called Obi, which they saw that he is a young and, young, hearty, and, healthy man that they saw that deserved to have handled the problem of Nigeria. Even though I will not I will not actually go towards this direction that they thought wrong. I will not say they thought wrong, because uche wapa onye ọbụla nyankia, in your own philosophy is your best. It must overshadow or override every other person's. That is exactly the way it is. So they believed in Obi. The whole young people in Nigeria with their right senses, or I will not say with their right senses, I will say that the whole young people in Nigeria that actually clamoring for change, they believe that Obi will give it to them. But all of a sudden, Tantara, they selected Tinubu and gave you a man who have a reserved hospital bed in Europe for medical travels. He has a reserved hospital bed for him. You know the way people reserve suites in the hotels. He has a reserved hospital bed because of his medical condition. And upon that, we are actually uncertain, you Nigerians, not we, you Nigerians are uncertain as per who is the man that is in Aso Rock that is calling himself your president. The argument has surfaced where people say, or where we told you that the man in Aso Rock is not the President Buhari you voted in 2015, because the President Buhari you voted in 2015 was a very sickly man, just like the one they have selected this time around. He was a very, very sickly man who was always in a hospital bed from Britain to Saudi Arabia, until he died. And they decided to wear somebody a mask and present them to you in the name of your president. You agree with them. African Union, who stood up to observe minute silence for the President Buhari that died, agree with them. All of a sudden, he reappeared. And we saw where the picture and everything, where he was declared brain dead. We saw it. Because he was not a strong man when he occupied that position of leadership. The pressure in that position of leadership can actually cause you to have, for your health condition to deteriorate. Talk more of a person whom health condition is already, deteriorated. So now, you as Walo Showinka, having seen that Nigeria, all these people at your age, you have watched Nigeria lies sell everywhere. You have watched Nigeria atrocities being covered. You have watched Nigeria, intimidation, police brutality, all these things being covered. You have watched ambassadors and envoys coming from different countries to Nigeria being bribed in order for them not to actually bring out the data that is coming out of Nigeria. You have watched all that. And the only thing that became your concern was that part of obedient movement is actually showing their grievances for the election malpractices which every one of us saw, witnessed, and observed. We saw it, we witnessed it, it is just like it was just like a movie. Even younger generation, people that had never witnessed election, they observe it because they saw social media, they saw televisions, they saw everything. Now they have woken up to this, their consciousness, knowing that Nigeria is election rigger. What? They will grow up to understand that this is a election rigging nation, because that is what they have been introduced to. So, I don't think they are going to, if this generation that is bringing them up does not rally to stop this and bring about the disintegration of Nigeria, I don't think these children will be able to fight tomorrow against all these atrocities, because they woke up seeing it. It will become a norm to them. They will learn how to live with it. So, Walosho, having seen the condition and the situation of Nigeria in the last decade, you still believe that a sickly old man who happens to be from your clan, who happens to be your brother, is worthy to preside over 200 and something million people in an environment that, that knows no peace. You were there. You know about Nigeria amalgamation. It is true that you are celebrated across the world. And the reason why you are celebrated across the world, it is because of your renowned English speaking and literature writing. That is exactly the reason why you are celebrated around the world. Because, of course, if in my own opinion, all these things that you have actually acquired, the fame and the respect that you have acquired over the years, I don't think it has ever, actually helped Nigeria to thrive. Maybe it helped you and your family, to thrive, but it has never helped any Nigeria. Your opinion has never helped Nigerians. Maybe it helped your family. So, in your old age, at the age of 80-something, where you supposed to be on the side that will help your children, your grandchildren that are waking up to see this type of Nigeria today, where you supposed to be fighting for a better future for them, you decide to destroy, or you decide to be in support of the destruction of the future which you are not going to be part of. For them, I don't think you like them a lot. I don't think you actually like those children. Now, I want to also bring it to the way people are actually responding to you, reminding you of your past mistakes, reminding you of what you have introduced to Nigeria that have taken the life of 1.8 million youth. And upon that, you are saying, I know that you are one Nigerianist. You belong to one Nigeria, and you are championing and promoting everything one Nigeria. But now, don't you have never thought of having that one Nigeria to favor young people? No. You don't want it to favor young people. Why? Even with your intellectualism, you don't want one Nigeria to favor young people. Knowing that the young people that you people continue to tell us when we were growing up that you are the future leader of tomorrow, or you are the leader of tomorrow in the Nigeria. We used to adore all these words when we hear it at school in that zoological republic called Nigeria. We used to listen to them. We used to adore them. We used to actually study hard in order to make it to that top, to be the leader of this Nigeria. Back then, until we came to find out that there is no future in this Nigeria. That everything that you older people were telling us has been a lie. A Nigeria where you say your diversity is your strength, yet people are being reminded of where they come from. people are being, intimidated when it comes to voting, telling them that they don't belong here. They should go back to their land and do their voting. And I'm loving all these things that is coming up, because it is now going to bring the mind of all these people who never believed in what we are fighting for. It will bring their mind to it, to understand and know that Nigeria is not going to change. That the more we are actually nurturing and pushing for one Nigeria, the more Nigeria is getting rotten to the core. And the more these old people that are there, as long as you have given them something that they will use and live for today, they don't think about tomorrow, because they know that it will not take long. They will, join their ancestor. It doesn't concern them anymore. What I call such is selfishness of our parents that does not actually think about the future of us, the children. That's exactly what you see in Nigeria. I don't want to, actually go hard on you, Wale Soyinka, because I have a lot of respect for you. But in a situation whereby you and, you supporting Tinubu, having seen that he is medically unfit to even contest for political position in Nigeria, talk more of first citizen of Nigeria, and you supported it as an intellectual, that you are a man who is respected, highly respected, not just respected, highly respected, and you are in support of that. I am very disappointed, very, very disappointed. The reason why I am very, very disappointed is you have seen the agitation. Even your people were agitating. And the reason why I am not going so hard on you, it is because maybe in your own mind, because as in Uchebab, you believe that Tinubu will give you people in Yoruba land as Yorubas a fair share of this cake from Nigeria. You believe that he will represent you people. That is actually the reason why I am not going hard on you. But you believing that Tinubu will represent your cause and the cause of the Yoruba land. That is the reason why you stood up to support him. Then have you believing in that? I don't have a problem. I support you because you are supporting what you feel that is right for your own people. That is the reason why I do not have a problem with that. But in a situation whereby the last time I checked, you are still one Nigerianist. Why do you only look for what is going to be beneficial to your own people only? And not what is going to be beneficial to this one Nigeria that you are clamoring for? Have you now seen that you people are not practicing what you guys preach? Have you now seen how you people, how cunning you people have become? How selfish you people have become in your quest to get a better deal. You drag other nations, other people who are not, accepted, who are not seen as part of Nigeria. You are dragging them into this one Nigeria mess. Yet you are looking for a better deal only for you and your own people. Have you now seen the reason why people are giving you all this backlash? Because they don't expect this from you. Had it been you have stood up in the past, half a decade, saying that the amalgamation of Nigeria is not something that is recommendable. or reminding us the history of the governor of protectorate on how they handled the issue of Nigeria in the past 100 years, the last 100 years. You did not do so. You were clamoring for one Nigeria. You were clamoring for a better Nigeria. So, I ask you, Wole Soyinka, a well-renowned and a celebrated man across the world, I ask you, so the only reason why you see that Nigeria must remain one, it is for you to support the election malpractices that took place on the 25th of February 2023, which led to the selection of your own clan, your brother, Tinubu, to be the president of Nigeria. Having seen that this man is not healthy, having seen that this man selected Muslim ticket, having seen that you are preaching one Nigeria or new Nigeria that will help people in it to thrive. So having seen all that, it means that you went back to look for what is better and fair, better deal for only Yoruba people, because that is the reason why you are in support of Tinubu. Because I don't think if he was not a Yoruba man, I don't think you will do what you did today. To the extent that you are seeing your own people intimidating the people who have developed Lagos, the Biafran people, which you've been preaching one Nigeria, one good Nigeria, one better Nigeria, one united Nigeria. You have been preaching it over the years. You have been saying, being a political activist in the last decade, speaking about what will help this one Nigeria to thrive. You have never for one day talked about the dissolution of this contraption called Nigeria that is being, bringing bloodbath to the people who live in it. You have never for one day talked about the dissolution of this Nigeria. You have never for one day talked about the disintegration of this Nigeria, which was not created by you or your ancestor, by you or anybody that you know, but it was created by somebody from Europe who came and bring these people, you. From today henceforth, you are called Nigeria, which was a name given to a British company called Royal Niger Company, Royal Niger Company. You accepted it, yet you are a well-renowned, writer. A well-known man that is celebrated across the world, an intellect. You have never argued why a country that is going to be that is going to, harbor black people, a white man from Europe, and the girlfriend, Flora Shaw, came and say, this is how you live from today henceforth. You did not even think about, let's change the name of this Nigeria to see if things were going to be better for one day until it gets to this extent. You didn't. All you continue to, imply is something that will make Nigeria to be great. So I ask you again, is a man who have already hospital bed in Europe going to give you that better deal for the whole nation? Or is he going to give it to you as you and Yoruba people. So, there is something I see there. Selfishness. Selfishness. Because if a man like you will wake up and say that Nigeria unity is in a limbo and Nigeria disintegration is a task that is due, I believe if you people did not listen to you, if you made those comments, and it come to this extent, or youth that are clamoring for better deal, that you as a man that is well respected said such things in the past years, or talk about talk about not restructuring, talk about total disintegration of this Flora Shaw and Lord Lugard's initiative called Nigeria. Had it been you have been vocal talking about that in the past years, and this youth did not take action, this youth did not listen to you, regardless of their ethnicity or their religious affiliation, but you have never done so. So why on earth are you looking for a better deal, or are you supporting what you see as a potential better deal for Yoruba nation and not for the whole of this Nigeria that you want them to be together? Selfishness. Very, very selfish. That is what I see here. Because Tinubu is a Yoruba man. He has promised you people a better deal in the Yoruba land. And upon that, you are ostracizing the Igbos. You are victimizing the Igbos. You are victimizing them because they have made a lot of success. They have actually achieved a lot. They have built many things. They bought land where is a swamp and they cover it and they build mansion on top of these swamps. So it is now time to victimize them to see if you will take over their properties. And yet you preach one Nigeria. So which one Nigeria is Tinubu going to preside over if you finish victimizing the Igbos? You will embrace the Fulani, right? Then you become the one Nigeria that you are championing or promoting. Have you now seen the reason why you are receiving such backlash? Because your judgment is self-centered. Your judgment and your philosophy of late is self-centered. It's selfish. So let me actually try to leave it here because there are many things. So upon this, people say that they are calling for a debate. Somebody like Eberima in Finland, whom we know that he is APC affiliated, but in denial of it. He made a post calling on you for a debate. Now, the question I am asking him, the debate you are calling on, is it actually to reignite your media attention? Because it is always whenever they feel like you are dying off in the media, you know, there will be somebody from Yoruba land who will come into your platform, because people might see it as just a statement, just like others did. And then you will, feel it is just ordinary statement. But now, without you knowing, he is actually planning to reignite or bring back those people who has been fooled or who is being fooled by him in the name that he is trying to give them Biafra, or he is fighting for Biafra on their behalf. That he is going on a debate with Soyinka. Now, what are you going to debate with Soyinka about? Are you going to debate about him supporting his own man because he's from Yoruba land? Or are you going to debate with Soyinka the reason why you were calling for election boycott in Biafra land? Or are you going to debate with Soyinka representing Obi? Because the problem that the issue with Soyinka on the current media space right now, it is about him, Obi, and the Tinubu. So when you are calling for debate in Finland, does you mean that you are going to defend Obi in your debate and tell them that Tinubu is not the right candidate but Obi is? Is it what you are going to do in your debate? Because what this guy was talking about, everything that he represents in this concurrent, media backlash he's getting, it is about him supporting the election malpractice because it is going to favor the Yoruba race. So it is a political debate. Are you going to engage in political debate? So I don't actually know the reason why Wale Soyinka must come for a debate. I don't really know why Wale Soyinka must come for a debate. Somebody is asking me, why are you wearing a glasses at night? You are a musician. Are you a musician? Mad people everywhere. His name is Luke Praise. Let me tell you the reason why I am wearing a glasses at night. Number one thing is that you don't know my time zone. That is number one thing. I will pardon you for that. You are ignorant there. You don't know my time zone. You don't know what time is it where I am. Now, let me just answer you because I need to teach you as well. You are here to learn. The reason why I am wearing a glasses, of course, you can see it is not just ordinary glasses. You can see it is a good glasses. It is not just ordinary glasses. These glasses prevent blue light into my eyes. It prevents blue light, from the screen that I am looking into while educating you. And from the light that is right in front of me, I don't want it to affect my eyesight. So I am trying to minimize as much blue light as I can in order for me not to have eye issues when I am growing old, because I am educating somebody like you who is very, very ignorant, and you brought your ignorance to the media space. So, have I answered your question? That's exactly the reason why you find me wearing glasses. I don't have a very sharp eyesight. So I am wearing this in order to prevent some damages. And I don't wear cheap glasses. That is the reason why you will not see me wearing cheap glasses. I have to protect my eye lens. So that is, by the way, of course, if you look at this, this thing you see is an eye drop. This eye drop, it resets your eye lens. When you put this in your eyes, it resets your eye lens. You will not see anything in the next 12 hours. You can only see very far. You will not see close in the next 12 hours. But it will enable you to actually sleep after being in front of the light the whole, for a very long time. So that is exactly the reason why I am wearing glasses. So don't say whether I am a musician because you are ignorant, you didn't care to find out. You should have called me or sent me a message and asked me, why do you always wear glasses? But that is, by the way, I believe that I have tackled your own problem, because my glasses is your problem in this broadcast, not the education that I am giving you now. So let us not lose focus. Let us move forward. So in all these things that you have seen, what will be the debate? What is the debate going to do for you in Biafra struggle? Or what is going to, what is the debate going to, help you achieve? By telling Wole Soyinka that it is the time to divide Nigeria. Having been in Nigeria, what have, Wole Soyinka's, contribution got to do, especially in this time when he is affiliated with APC and his brother who has been selected into the office of leadership? What are you going to have a debate with him for? Are you now into the politics of Nigeria? Or are you not supposed to be fighting for the freedom you claim that you are fighting for the people of Biafra? Why are you trying to bring Wole Soyinka? And some people who are very, very, who does not understand or read the handwriting on the wall, they will see it as a new development eventually if Wole Soyinka comes into your platform, because we have made peace with it that some Yorubas that are APC affiliated, just like you, Eberima, they always come to give you support in desecrating Biafra land. I remember during the time of election campaign, you claim no election and they claim no election. And at the end of the day, their own person now win the election. They never boycotted any election as per agree between you and them. They never ever mentioned it again or acted upon it. But you continue to shout, no election in Biafra and this and that. Because now they have initiated you. And I told you, Biafrans, that this is how Yoruba people use Igbo people. Because they always see Igbo people as fools. They will always use you. You will think that you are, you think that you are doing something great. That is the reason why they are using you. You think you are wise, but you are foolish. That is the reason why they are using you. Now you are calling them to come on interview. On interview, will they say no? Wole Soyinka, having seen how, intelligent he is, especially in his vocabulary. Of course, vocabulary does not take anybody anywhere. But you bringing him, you so-called claiming to be a lawyer, claiming to be this, you are not, you don't speak eloquently, you might not even be able to uncover some vocabulary that is going to use against you in your so-called debate. I don't think you will be able to stand it, having seen the type of society that Nigeria believes in. Society that speaks English and eloquently. I don't think there is anything that will come out of you and Wole Soyinka that will help the struggle to thrive. So you are only going to where the light is, where the rim light is. You are not here to fight for freedom. That's what I can assure you. That's exactly what I can assure you. If you will remember the time our sister, Professor, professor, there was a professor that made, her tribute to Queen. Will I say tribute or her? I will say tribute that he wrote to Queen, whether good or bad. It is tribute. That she wrote to Queen. She is a professor. What was her name? Somebody remind me of this young lady from USA that on Twitter, even Twitter banned her for making some statement about the genocide committed on Biafrans. Uju Anya. Yes. Professor Uju Anya was the name of the lady. Why did you not write for you to have a debate or bring her for an interview to support what we are doing if you are a Biafra freedom fighter? You didn't do that. The only thing you are doing, you want to bring Wale Soyinka, who is now involving himself with politics, affiliated with APC, supporting president-select, is the man you want to bring to your platform while you claim you are fighting for freedom for Biafra. What is he going to do for you in your platform? So these are the things that people who are not intelligent, when they see you, they will start promoting it. You will ask him question, you will do this, you will do that, without. I believe that everything we come online to do must be something that is productive, that is going to be beneficial to the struggle we are into. If we want to start doing it, let us try to be in the realm light. You will find many things that we need to bring up, because there are many things we have done we don't bring into the social media, just because it is not the light we are looking for. We are looking for our freedom. It is not about what we are going to people to know us and know that we will be well known to the world without having any good legacy towards what you do or towards what you claim that you represent. So what are you fighting for? What are you fighting for? Soyinka's statement was a political statement. Partisan political statement. That was what he made. He did not make any statement that concerns what we are doing. He is promoting his own people. Go there and promote your own people. But you cannot. Rather, you are promoting them and everything they represent. Because they sent you abroad to go and play sport. They sent you. I wouldn't be surprised if you eventually Soyinka appear in your platform. I wouldn't be surprised. Because the game continues. The games that you and some Yoruba people are playing with us continues. We are seeing it, and we have, we know exactly what it is. So I don't think that you will manipulate a lot of people for the sake of that. You will not manipulate a lot of people for the sake of that. Now, let us go to another thing. I want you to remember that our sister, which you see here, okay, sorry, not this, where is this? Our sister here, oh no, which is, what her name is, Chimamanda Ngozi Adichie. She is a renowned writer based in United States. Of course, you know she wrote a letter, open letter for that matter, to the Mr. President of United States. Let me see if I will read such letter that she wrote. I am going to read it from the newspaper in Atlanta. Now, I want you to let us read the letter that she wrote to Mr. President before we go to the backlash she's also getting. And we are going to address it, and we are now going to now advise our sister where she need to channel her energy. Now let us go there. Let us go there. Because now what is going on here now is in Kemon Afia. Our people need to understand that it is all about your own. Now in that zoological republic, you need to promote and protect your own. Because Nigeria is divided. I don't know if you are still waiting for Nigeria to be divided more than this. You are actually making a big mistake. Nigeria is more divided than ever before. Now let us bring the letter she wrote and let us read it. I am going to read it. I don't know if you will be able to see it. Let me zoom it a bit so that you will be able to see it. I am going to read it from the Atlantic. So that you will see it better, because the letter is is there. Now for the Atlantic, Chimamanda Adichie writes open letter to President Biden about Nigeria's hollow democracy. Today, the Atlantic is publishing an open letter to President Joe Biden from the acclaimed Nigerian writer Chimamanda Adichie. In the letter, Nigeria Hollow Democracy, Adichie confronts the question of why Americans keep congratulating the winner of Nigeria's disastrous election in February, following the passage of 2022 Electoral Act in Nigeria, which gave legal backing to the vote counting process. Vote counting process. Something remarkable happened on the morning of February 25th. The day of the Nigeria presidential election. Adichie writes, many Nigerians went out to vote holding in their hearts a new sense of trust. Cautious trust, but still trust. What followed was a breach of that trust when on February 26, social media became flooded with evidence of voting irregularities. Number crossed out and rewritten, some originally written in black ink and had been rewritten in blue. Some blunderingly whited out with Tipex. The election had been not only rigged, but done in such a shabby manner that it insulted the intelligence of Nigerians. It insulted the intelligence of Nigerians. And that is exactly, this is the path that all of you who call yourself intellectuals in Nigeria, of course, what happened on the 25th of February insulted the intelligence of Nigerians. Well written. Now we continue. The ruling party's candidate Bola Tinubu was eventually announced as the president-elect of Nigeria. Rage is brewing. Adichie writes, especially among young people. The discontent, the despair, the tension in the air have not been this palpable in years. Adichie questioned the U.S. State Department response in congratulating Tinubu and accepting the election result. American intelligence surely cannot be so inept. A little homework and they will know what is manifestly obvious to me and so many others. The process was imperiled not by technical shortcomings, but by the deliberate manipulations to Biden. Adichie writes, "You have spoken of the importance of a global community for democracy and the need to stand up for justice and the rule of law. A global community for democracy cannot thrive in the face of apathy from its most powerful member. Why would the United States prioritize the rule of law, endorse a president-elect who has emerged from an unlawful process?" Adichie concludes, congratulating the election's outcome, President Biden tarnished American self-proclaimed commitment to democracy. Please do not give the sheen of legitimacy to an illegitimate process. The United States should be what it says it is. Chimamanda Adichie full letter. Okay. Nigeria Hollow Democracy is online today at atlantic.com. All right. So this was what she wrote to President Biden, because of course we know that some Americans who are also going to benefit from this Tinubu selected leader, they have congratulated him, even knowing that the evidence is out there in the open, that the election process was manipulated, was not free and fair, was rigged. Regardless of what this agent they had in as a British envoy, which is always the one manipulating every data coming out from Nigeria to the international community, and also the United States ambassador that has been there as well. They were bribed. They were actually manipulating every result or data that is coming out from Nigeria before sending it out there to the international bodies. So if you know, most of the time when we see such data or people congratulating some people, it is, these people, they didn't do their due diligence. They just woke up and received the data from British envoy, from America, U.S. mission to Nigeria. And they say that the election was conducted free and fair because they have been given money to report what they are reporting. So, my dear sister Chimamanda Adichie, you have written. Of course, you are known for writing, and you are known for making a lot of sense. And you are also known for coming in a very important context. So, the reason why I picked up to talk about the letter you wrote to President Biden is about you being there all this while, my sister. You have been there all this while. We have been agitating. We have been grappling with, extrajudicial killing. We've been grappling with marginalization. We've been grappling with all sort of inhuman treatment. Upon that, they release Fulani terrorists to come into our land to start killing and raping our women. You've been there, my sister. You didn't actually reflect on that. Why? And having seen how much you love Nigeria to be one and how much you have promoted one Nigeria, this one shook you to your bone marrow that you have to actually react. And I am very, very happy that you have woken up to the reality of Nigeria and what it is for real. Because everything and anything you do to promote oneness of Nigeria, it is no longer going to be ignorant. It is going to be foolishness. Because I love what you have written to the Joe Biden administration, which shows that Nigeria does not practice democracy. They don't respect democratic process. The fact that they have a liar who comes to the media, Liar Mohammed, to come and say everything went well. The same Liar Mohammed came to say that there was nobody killed in Lekki Tollgate, which the evidence was there. So, my sister Chimamanda Adichie, I actually named my daughter, my second daughter, after you. But I didn't think about you before naming her, but I named her Chimamanda. That's the name of my little daughter. So I love that. So I love that name so much. So ever since I discovered you on the media space, I've been following your work. I've been following your your intellectualism. I've been following everything that you are doing, how you are adored and celebrated across the nations on earth by your fellow women. I believe you promote feminism and all that. So, but that is not what we are here to talk about. We are here to talk about how we are going to get away from this shackle called One Nigeria, that you have finally discovered that there is nothing that comes out of it that is going to be authentic. The election that took place this few months ago, it was a sham which you wrote against it. So now you have discovered what Nigeria really is. What are you going to do about it? Are you still going to use your voice trying to promote what will bring Nigeria to be one nation? Or are you going to use your voice trying to support your people right now in order to achieve and restore our dignity? Because we are being isolated. We are being killed. Police brutality everywhere. It is high time you start supporting your people the same way you have supported Nigeria right now by writing to Joe Biden, of which I know that Joe Biden might not react upon your letter to them. If the activities of this current situation, or if this current situation in Nigeria right now is a good business for them, your letter is nullified on arrival. And they will call it a foreign policy. They will tag it is a foreign policy. We cannot intervene in that manner. We cannot do this. They will bring it towards that dimension that you yourself will not have much to say or do. But now that you have realized that everything about Nigeria is a lie, everything about the people preaching one Nigeria, it is a lie. It is for them to get a fair share for themselves, to build a generational wealth. Because it has become a survival of the fittest in Nigeria. So, if it is for survival of the fittest, when are you going to bring your beautiful children back to Nigeria and make them live without fear of being prejudiced for the sake of their religious affiliation, or being prejudiced for the sake of their cultural, value system, or for the sake of whom they are? Do you feel the sense of belonging, having seen the 25th February election and the gubernatorial election that took place? What transpired? Do you still see yourself as part of one Nigeria, that you are writing for the sake of one Nigeria, because your letter signifies your support for one Nigeria? I want everyone who is watching me, if you are watching me on Twitter, we are live on Twitter, I want you to tag Chimamanda Adichie, Amanda Adichie, while you are sharing this video or you are retweeting the video on Twitter, because I want this message to get to her. I want this message to get to her. Let me find out her Twitter handle. Let me find out her Twitter and handle. Just one moment. Let me bring to you her Twitter handle so that when you are sharing, you tag her. Okay. Her Twitter handle is @ChimAmandaReal. @ChimAmandaReal. @ChimAmanda. The spelling is ChimAmanda. Then real. REAL. The real, the first letter is capital letter. Chimamanda is capital letter. I don't know if it matters. So let's find it before we proceed. Chimamanda Real. So when you are retweeting the video, you tag her Chimamanda. Chimo. Yes. Or you search Chimamanda Ngozi Adichie, then you will be able to see the Twitter handle, her Twitter handle. So that is, you tag her. When you are watching, you tag her, let her, she need to actually come to the party, because she has experienced one Nigeria that she has been in denial that it existed. That is the reason why she never, I know that she has been writing and actually, questioning the colonial activities in Africa at large. She has been, vocal about the neo-colonialist, the neo-colonialism, the imperialism, and then it is now for her to bring it home. Because as in it is now for Chimamanda to bring all this, her initiative and her wisdom, bring it home in order to help her own people. Because I can categorically show you right now the backlash she is getting for writing a letter to Mr. President of United States. Because number one, the reason why she's getting that backlash, because she is Igbo woman. I am going to show you. And number two, the reason why she is getting such backlash is because she is a Biafra. And anybody that is seen as a Biafra, no matter how much they claim they are celebrating you, it is fake. It is a fake celebration. They are not celebrating you for real. It is just, you are just being celebrated for the sake of being celebrated. That is the reason why some political bigots insulted you for the sake of writing a letter against an evil election malpractice which took place in Nigeria, Not only that evil election malpractice, the victimization of your own people. You did not add it. Okay, I think I saw it. You made a conclusive, submission on that. I saw it when you talked about people being just told that you don't belong here, you cannot vote here, go to your place to vote, something like that. So I saw the reflection of that. So I believe that this lesson that you have learned will now teach you that Biafra is our only hope. If you bring your voice, I know that anybody who start preaching freedom of Biafra, they might, I believe that you might be scared of losing some followers you have across Nigeria. Let it be. The future of those your children, beautiful children that you have, the future of them is in a limbo. As long as Nigeria still exists. The reason why I am telling you that is that I am going to remind you of Abuja Declaration 1989. That is the reason why I am actually telling you that the future of your beautiful children that you are raising, hoping that one day they will come back home if they are domiciled in the United States, because they are citizens of the United States, that one day they will return home and bring something good if home exists in a good, faith. But do you think that you will bring them to Nigeria? Do you really think that something good will ever come out of Nigeria? I don't think so. If you believe that something good is going to come out of Nigeria, I want you to come out of it, because there is nothing good that is going to come out of Nigeria. Nothing good is going to come out of Nigeria, because Nigeria is a place where they practice feudal system of government. Nigeria is a place where they practice fascism. That is exactly what you see in Nigeria. And you can only get it right to safeguard the future of these your children that you have for the sake of the future. You can only get it right if we achieve our dignity back in the land that God in heaven has given to us to occupy and to do exploit in it. That a white man from Europe, that we don't even know what he looks like, and his girlfriend Flora Shaw came and decided to desecrate this land by taking this land, by bringing this land, the authority of our land, and giving it to somebody who call you an infidel. What do you think that these people who see you as an infidel is going to do for the benefit of you and your children? What are they going to do for your benefit? Absolutely nothing. So I want you people who are very, well-renowned, personalities in the work that you do, you've written so many books, you have represented Africa, you have, been vocal about the oppression of Africa continent, you have been vocal about the oppression of black people, black children, how we are seen as, another creature coming out from a bush, which is called Africa. I've followed so many of your work. They are, I give thumbs up to them, but not with feminism. We sideline that one. But at the end of it all, it is now time to do your due diligence back home, because the only reason why our people are being oppressed and victimized in Lagos is because so many of them, they did not bring some of their achievement back home. They made Lagos their place and they invested everything that they have worked for in Lagos. And that is the reason why today they allow themselves to be made, they allow themselves to be treated like nothing in Lagos today because they didn't remember home when they're supposed to remember home. Even a wise adage in Igbo land said, when the wealth gets to, get home, then you will understand, you will now know who the wealth belongs to. Who made the wealth? So, including you, whatever you are doing, we know that United States is a beautiful place. It is a beautiful place which was built by people. It is time for you, among other people who have the knowledge of what will help our own nation to thrive, to come into this party. Let us drive this narrative of getting our sovereign nation of Biafra and making sure that we build a better future for the sake of these children that we have given birth to. We owe them that responsibility of creating and shaping a better future for them. It is not only sending them to Harvard University or you sending them to Cambridge. It is not about that. Whether you send them to the best university of the world, at the end of the day, if they do not know or know how come home to identify whom they are, believe you me, you have never done them any good. As a person who promotes African emancipation or decolonization, you, Chimamanda Adichie, a woman I respect so much, it is now time for you to come closer to home. And your home is Biafra. That is our final destination, where we are going to be respected, where we are going to actually be appreciated, where we are going to be equal in the eyes of the law, where we are going to be treated like human, where your children are going to, be a leader if they qualify to be, where they are not going to be prejudiced because of anything. It is in Biafra land. And the earlier you support this movement, the better for you. And likewise, all other people who are affiliated to Obedient Movement today, believing that something good is going to come out of it. We told you from the beginning that they will never give it to you. But we will not be the reason why they will not. That is the reason why we made sure that all these people who have taken money calling for election boycott in Biafra land, we made sure that we nullify everything that they have put in place. We make sure that we sideline every authority that they have brought up there to tackle the election or to make sure that they boycott the election in Biafra land. We made sure that we remove it so that those who believe in one Nigeria will see it for themselves. And if you are still there believing that something magical will happen and Tinubu will not be the president, when the DSS is now bringing up a news, DSS become media spokesperson who brings up a news to the public instead of course, we know that the job of the DSS, it is to actually work as an intelligent. The job of the DSS is to work as an intelligent of Nigeria federal government. But in a situation whereby the DSS is not working as an intelligent, they are now choosing sides in the Nigeria politics. What does that tell you? Let me actually remind us the job of the DSS before you will be before you will now see the media statement they made few days ago that there will be an interim government, which led to the killing of our peaceful protesters in Aba, because the DSS made such statement. And in order to clamp down every human rights activities in Nigeria, that is the reason why they made that statement, because they are promoting the ruling party. They are affiliated to the ruling party. Listen to the DSS latest report is a clue to get our voices heard on. Okay, this was an article I wrote about it, but I don't want to actually. It is not what I am looking for. Let me bring us to the job of the DSS. Just one moment. If Facebook kick you out, bring yourself back up. If they kick you out, bring yourself back up, because they play this game a lot. One moment. I don't want this to take much of my time, actually. I don't want it to take much of my time. I cannot find that. Okay, let me bring it to you. Of course, DSS, for those of you who does not know DSS, when we talk about DSS, the DSS is just an acronym, and it stands for the Department of State Service in Nigeria. So this is security agencies. This agency is responsible for providing intelligence gathering and security services to the federal government of Nigeria, as well as protecting the top government officials and safeguarding the nation's critical infrastructure. The DSS also carries out investigation of criminal activities that threatens the national security and works in conjunction with other security agencies to maintain peace and order throughout the country. Now, the latest report of the DSS claiming that there is some people who are plotting to make sure that there will be no inauguration of the president-elect. Come the date that they have put it there, you ask yourself, why is the DSS saying this to the public? Instead of taking it through the appropriate channel and saying it to the public without an evidence, is it protecting? I ask you a question. Is it protecting Nigeria, or is it protecting the whole country of Nigeria? Is it not about, this is a sentiment with no basis. A sentiment that has no basis, that the DSS brought out in order to use it to kill anybody who will rise up to actually exercise their freedom of expression. Have you now seen the reason why they went swiftly to go and kill the members of, the public who were protesting for the release of Mazen Nnamdi Kanu. Many people that was killed in that protest, all of them were not IPOB members. Those were the people who love what Mazen Nnamdi Kanu was doing. They decided that they have to join a protest. Those were some people who even saw the protest going on and they joined. They were killed in that process because they have to kill anybody who want to protest against the current situation of Nigeria, so that it does not stop them from carrying out their evil plan of the selection they did in the 21st of February by plotting and trying to bring to effect the Abuja Declaration 1989, which is where we are going. Have you now seen, my sister Chimamanda, that there is nobody that is representing you in Nigeria? You stand for yourself, survival of the fittest. And it is time for us to actually move away from this structure, move away from this contraption called Nigeria. It is British contraption, British enclave called Nigeria. It is time for us to separate ourselves from it, for us to have economic growth and stability, for us to have freedom of expression, freedom of speech, freedom of religion, freedom of anything that we are affiliated to. For us to have such freedom, we must separate ourselves from these people. They don't love us. And we have discovered that they don't love us. We have been loving them, making sure that this relationship stands. But we have paid with our blood for the sake of this relationship to stand. The oil that Nigeria is bragging about in the whole world, we own it. Have you forgotten? We own this oil. Biafrans own this oil. Yet, we have been marginalized. All those of you who are championing P2B, the fact that they have stopped you from protesting, it is now high time for you to look for what is making Nigeria happy. You need to bring economic sabotage to Nigeria, because they have brought sabotage towards your freedom. They have brought sabotage towards your democratic exercise. They are trying to quench everything that will make the world hear your cry. They are trying to make sure that it does not happen. So it is up to you to brainstorm, to know the next plan. Because as in change now, they change the drum beat in change in Egu, then the dancing step ought to be changing. When the drum beat is changing, the dancing step is supposed to be changing with it. They have made sure that you don't come out to exercise your freedom of expression through protest, peaceful gathering. They will shoot and kill you. Not one, not twice, not thrice, not fourth, not fourth time. They made sure that each and every time they will tell you you are IPOB, they shoot and kill you. So how then are you going to cry for the world to hear you? Because they have beaten you up. They are trying to prevent you not to cry. So are you going to allow that to happen? That means that you are doomed. The children you are giving birth to, you are going to allow them to go through this same process all their lives. Or are you not going to go back home? All those people who are in abroad, believing that you are in Europe, you are in the USA, you are in every other place. You are in South Africa, you are in Morocco, you are in Egypt, all these things. Do you think you are going to live there for good? Remember, Nigeria ikpọrọ nke gị. Ka nsụọ ya n'Igbo. Nigeria ikpọrọ nke gị is now telling you now. Ona ana agwazi gị na park ya akpa gị. You don't belong here. You say Lagos is a no man's land. They are now telling you, victimizing you. Say gị pull akpa gị, porofa here. Nigeria nke ikpọrọ nke go country gị. Your green want green passport or your green passport. Where are you from? I am a Nigerian, a bona fide Nigerian. Nigeria no dey carry last. Nigeria now is telling you now, pack and leave Lagos. If the Nigeria, ọbụna Nigeria nwe kpọrọ nke gị ga-eme go otu a, kedu ife ichelu na mba ofesi anwe ịnọgasị ga-eme gị oge na-adịrị anya? Ka ife ichelu? I continue to hear that there are countries that are xenophobic. What is the meaning of xenophobic? When a place where you come from, they are being xenophobic against you or Igbophobic against you, then yet you will open your mouth one day and say South Africa is xenophobic. There is a xenophobic attack. What are you going to call the one happening in your own place? These same people that are victimizing you, they are at the same place. There was a time there was a, incidents that took place in South Africa. We saw all that. They say that South Africa is xenophobic, that they are chasing foreigners, to the extent that Alin Onyema brought out a plane for people to go home. The Yoruba people went home through Alin Onyema's plane because of what they call xenophobic attack. Right? Igbo people went home through Alin Onyema's plane because of what they saw as xenophobic attack. Now, you are home right now. Some of you who even left, the places where you were because you believe that they are being xenophobic against you. You went home. Little did you know that Yoruba people now will become xenophobic against you, who is the owner of the country also, which they call one Nigeria. Your diversity is your strength. So what are you going to tell yourself? Everywhere you go, they will chase you until you restore your dignity. It has never happened to you. Don't take because it never reached me, then you believe that it is going to be like that. It is not going to be like that. It will soon reach you because of the plan. It was a long-term planning. Whichever bridge they get, they cross it without even fear or favor, without even caring about what you think. That is the reason why I am calling all of you who see yourself to be intellectual. That is the reason why I am calling all of you who are Biafrans, but you have seen yourself in abroad and you believe that this abroad that you have seen yourself, that there is no, and no matter what happens, maybe you have made peace, I don't know, that you will live and die there. Because I have heard so many people who say they will live and die in abroad. Shame unto you. Shame on you. That means that you have lost the battle against those who took over your land. You are a coward. Anybody who will wake up and say that I will live and die, I don't want to go back home, to hell with the home in Africa, to hell with them, I will live and die where I am. You are a disgrace to the motherland. You are a disgrace to motherland. You need to fight against that thing that is chasing you from your own place. Because that place where you want to live and die for, people fought for it. And people achieved that goal. Achieved that beautiful infrastructure, service deliveries. People fought for it. It never fell from the sky. And yet, you are claiming you will live and die here, and you are seeing yourself as an intelligent person. You are a coward. That's what you are. I am not insulting you. I'm complimenting you because of your mind, quality of your mind. You cannot live and die there. You are not from there. You need to make sure that your children know where they come from. Because as in a mini donate judor wankita. The water that is in that calabash is still there for the dog. Because at the end of the day, whether you live and die there, one time there will be abafa. If I ask na afunafa would that na there is a spirit of your ancestor who was buried in America, or spirit of your ancestor who was any yana London. The spirit is to what? He want to come back home. You have caused a problem for your own children. They have to now go and look for where you are buried to Chinata Boginono. Have you now seen how selfish you are? By saying, I will live and die there. Live and die in LA. Where somebody else built. Because what goes around will surely come around. If you believe, you know what you are? You are a black person, a dominant threat. The reason why black people are being, target all over the world, because of our dominance, we have a dominant threat. That's why no matter which race you have child with, that child comes out to be more like you. It will never be more like that race because of our dominant threat. And that is the reason why when we go out of the sun, we make peace with it. When cold comes, we make peace with it. We are, we have this adaptation skin, the skin that adapts to any circumstances. But don't get used to your, this your scary circumstance because you have found a way to navigate it. Because that has been the problem we are facing today. We always find a way to live with the problem that we can actually curb permanently. Let's make it right for the sake of our children. Let us make it right for the sake of our children. Now, let me show you the backlash, Chimamanda, you got from this political harlot. From this political harlot called Femi Fani-Kayode. Another panga. What do you call him? Will I call him another panga? Or another, will I call him another Lai Mohammed? Another Lai Mohammed, a political harlot. Let me bring to you what he said so that you will understand the type of people you are dealing with. The type of ignorant you are dealing with. Selfish people. These are the people, they know what they are doing. They know exactly what they are doing. You will believe that these people, they know what they are doing. These are one Nigerianist. He is a one Nigerianist. Let me show you. Let me bring it to so that we will compare this guy, what this guy has ever achieved in Nigeria, other than constituting nuisance. In the mainstream media, that's only what he has achieved. Let me read it for you. What he said about you. Now he said, Chimamanda's letter to Biden is a pistol of garbage. That is what they wrote in the media. Hey, number one, Chimamanda, you are exposed, you are well learned, you are intellectual, and you are in the media, even the mainstream media. Most of the time, how media authors they write, something that is going to come to the public domain. You know the types of words, characters that they don't use as a professional journalist, as a professional media company. You know the type of thing, because the reason why I am reflecting on all these things is to give you the reason why you will never, these people will never match the standard of Biafrans. They will never match the standard of Biafran. They will never match your standard. Because you are born special as a Biafran. It is actually it is a blessing for you being a Biafra. For those of you who does not know it, it is a privilege being a Biafran. That's why you are, they are doing what they are doing to you, because they know if they leave you, they know where you will become. That is the reason why Nigeria with immoral Nigeria. Listen to what they wrote for the public, including children, to assess and read. Look at what this man is saying. Tomorrow, these are the people who are going to govern Nigeria, by saying that Chimamanda's letter to the Biden is epistle of garbage. Now, not only that he said epistle of garbage. Let's read further. Director of Special Media Project. Of course, he's going to be the next Liar Mohammed. Special Media Project and the New Media. Tinubu Shetima Presidential Campaign Council. Femi Fani-Kayode has described the open letter written by the Nigerian writer Chimamanda Adichie to President Joe Biden as an epistle of garbage that belongs to the bottom of public toilets. These are, you know what? This is, you cannot write such article in a developed country. You will not write such rubbish in your article in a developed country, the way it is. But Zoom Media, Gota Media. Recall that Adichie had published an open letter titled Nigeria's Hollow Democracy. Why is America congratulating the winner of the disastrous election, addressed to Biden on Thursday? The letter, among other things, stated that I hope President Biden that you do not personally share the cordial condescension you have spoken of the importance of a global community for democracy and the need to stand up for justice and rule of law. Reacting to the letter, Femi Fani-Kayode described Chimamanda as an overrated, Igbo-centric New Age diva. Oh, have you now seen the reason why I brought this and the Walosho Winka? Did you see it? Reacted to the letter, Femi Fani-Kayode described Chimamanda as an overrated and Igbo-centric New Age diva, saying the letter belongs to bottom of the toilet. Have you now seen the reason why, how these people are so, fake? Their love is fake. Their so-called call for unity is fake. Their one Nigeria call is fake. Everything about them is fake. That is the reason why he described your letter as a pistol of garbage that belongs to the public toilet, because what is happening is in favor of him and his family. He does not care about other people from other tribes in Nigeria, yet they continue to clamor for one Nigeria. Have you now seen this man that is calling you Igbo-centric diva? He called you. He said that you are Igbo-centric. Let me read it correctly. Reacting to the letter, Femi Fani-Kayode described Chimamanda as overrated Igbo-centric New Age diva. Overrated. Now, let's see this man who is calling somebody overrated. Let us actually see if we can reflect on some of his work. Just one moment. Let's reflect on some of his contribution and how he is underrated, because he believes he's underrated. That is the reason why he is saying that Chimamanda is Igbo-centric. Of course, we have seen she married Igbo woman who gave him children. I wonder what this Igbo woman went through in the hands of this political harlot. I want to bring to us what this man represents before we go to what they are plotting to do with our people and our children future in Nigeria. That started in 1989. Let me, just one moment. Okay, let me see if this is what I'm looking for. I want to bring it to you. I want to bring it to you. Let's see if it is what I'm looking for. Now,
question is that? What type of stupid question is that? Bankrolling who? Look, I'm saying this on live TV. Look, I'm saying this on live.
I want you to look at this. I want you to look at this video that you are seeing here. Listen to this video where this man who is now believing that other people are overrated. The man who believes that other people are overrated for the sake of speaking the truth to power, for the sake of making sure that they are, they doing what they believe is right to favor the public in this one Nigeria that they promote. That is the work of Chimamanda. Now, listen to the man and the people who are going to rule you in this era of Nigeria. People who are not accountable for anything. They are not accountable for anything. I want you to hear this video where this man who is always present in the media, looking for who to fight with, looking for who to criticize. Anybody that does not agree with him, he will come and insult that person and call them names. I want you to see the legacy of this man. The legacy of this man. Listen to it very attentively. Listen to it. And before we proceed, Facebook, I do not have the copyright on this program. YouTube, allow me, I do not own the copyright of this video I'm about to play right now. I do not own the copyright. I'm not doing it for commercial purpose, but I am doing it for a record purpose. So, listen to it and listen attentively.
TV. What? No, put that thing down. Let me address. What type of stupid question is that?
Listen to the question. Listen to the question. A media brought him up to actually ask him question as per all the travelings and all the extravagant expenditure that he is doing, which is seen as a wasteful expenditure. Who is bankrolling you on those expenditures that you are making when you were in the government space? Now he blew out hot. He blew very hot, and he started throwing insult to the media journalists, to the journalists, and even trying to slap the journalist, standing up, showing what he is, that he is a person who does not have respect, not even in public. That is exactly what he is showing here. I want you to pay attention and watch this to see the amount of ignorance and wickedness of the people who is about to, be your leaders. Because of course he has actually occupied in advance a leadership position under the selected regime that you have in that country called Nigeria. Listen to him for you to see the epistle of your predicament. The epistle of your predicament when people who does not have respect, not even in a public places, when they speak, and these are the people who are saying that people are overrated. Who knows Femi Fani-Kayode other than being in a political space in Nigeria, looking for where to... He is like a hyena, looking for where to go and, eat the one that is already done. Listen to it.
I'm saying this on live TV. What? I'm saying this on live TV. What? No, put that thing down. Let me address. What type of stupid question is that? What type of stupid question is that? Bankrolling who? Do you know who you are talking to?
You are talking to God.
Any questions from this man. What type of insulting question
is that? You are talking to God.
Which bankroll? To do what? Who can give me money for anything? Who do you think you are talking to? Bankroll what?
Okay.
Go and report yourself to your publisher.
Okay.
Bankroll what?
Okay.
Please don't insult me here.
All right.
I don't want to take any questions from this man.
Okay.
I could see from your face before you got here how stupid you are. Don't ever talk to me like that.
He could see from his face before he arrives here how stupid he is. You know what is going on here? This is the reason why Nigeria police, they kill you when they look at your face. Because when they look at your face and see maybe you have accident, you have a scar on your face, they call you Scarface. You are a criminal. They shoot at you. They kill you. They harvest your organ. You can see the evidence of it. That he can see by the face of the journalist, that the journalist is so stupid by the face. That is, they look at your face to judge you in Nigeria. They look at your face to kill you in Nigeria. They look at your face to say you are a criminal in Nigeria. Not by doing due diligence, not by investigation. So you have come to now understand that everybody that is being killed in Nigeria is by mere looking at their faces. They kill them. They judge them. They now decided this is a criminal because his face is ugly, because he has accident and has a scar on his face, because he had a hairstyle. So automatically they are criminal. This is exactly what this man is actually, saying here. When they look at your face, they have actually decided whom you are, judging a book by the cover. Listen to it.
That. Who do you think you're talking to? Bankroll who? You think that I'm one of those ones you'll be from who? From how? When? Where? How? You have a small mind. Very small mind.
Okay.
Don't judge me by your own standards. I've been in politics since 1990. I'm not one of these politicians you think will just come. I've been locked up how many times by this government? Okay. Suffered.
Locked up. What made you locked up?
I've been persecuted.
Okay.
Unlike most of the politicians you follow for brown envelope. You. Don't ever judge me by that standard.
Okay.
I spend, I don't take.
Okay. You spend,
and I'm not a poor man. I've never been and I will never be.
Okay.
Bankroll how? Don't ever suggest that to me.
Okay.
Sorry. I think he got it.
They say to him, sorry, sir. So the reason why I am bringing your mind back to the memory lane is because you forget so soon. You forget very easily. These are the people on the lineup on your presidential select. These are the people who will be maybe in your media, or will be occupying a significant position under the rulership of the selected, candidate in Nigeria. They will not want to be held accountable for anything. They don't want to give account to anything. They don't want to answer to anybody for anything. Once they are in power, he claims he is rich. If he is rich enough, why is he now coming to serve the public? Because when you are in a political space in Nigeria or in any country in the world, you are there to serve the public. So he is rich. So he is using his money to do work for the state. That's exactly what he is actually implying here. Who is bankrolling all your travels and all that? He lost it. These are the people that you will say, this is my role model. This is somebody who says somebody is overrated. Somebody who is actually have no dent. The whole world celebrates them. Who celebrates Femi Fani-Kayode? He doesn't even, when people talk about him in the media space, you don't even get you find people not interested. Because they know that this is a political harlot. They know that this man, he does not belong to anything. He just belongs where the stomach is. Where the stomach is. So listen to it attentively. Let us finalize it.
I'm sorry that it was deeply insulting. I don't often get annoyed. Impressed. I've been doing this type of thing for many, many years.
Okay.
Don't you ever make that kind of suggestion to me.
Sorry, sir. Thank you, sir, for your time.
Bankroll, who a former minister.
Okay, what? Bankroll, who a former minister. You know what I can advise this man? I think this man, he has some problems. He need to actually look after himself. I'm telling you. He has some problem. He need to look after himself. I don't want to give him exactly the type of problem I believe he has, by his actions. Because some of you will see such actions, you believe that they are ordinary. You will not know that it is a medical condition. But let us continue. I don't want to. You must pay a consultation fee. Then I will tell him what his medical problem is. Let us continue.
Sir, a lawyer?
Sorry, sir. He got his language. Sorry.
Don't ever try that with me again. No. Don't, please.
Okay.
You see me well. Don't ever. All right? I have a short fuse.
Yeah, short fuse.
Okay?
Yeah,
Don't.
I am right.
Try it with others, don't. I won't just say right now, I will hit you hard, don't.
Okay.
And if anybody sent you to ask that question and gave you brand new, go and tell them you got more than they bargained for to do it. Very rude. It's not the standard of daily trust at all, and I will report you to your publisher. Thank you. Any other questions?
Okay. Any other question? When you haven't answered the one asked that was thrown at you.
Somebody has been on the road for how long?
Any other question?
Talk about that. Very stupid.
Oh, Nigeria. Hey. Any other question? When you couldn't answer the one that was thrown at you. Hey! Zu alumni. This is how they will give you account to anything. How they are being held to account. Why do you think they don't want you to protest? They don't want you to protest. They don't want you to cry. They will beat you. They don't want you to cry. In this 21st century. And the 200, okay, let me say that 20 million. Or let me give it to them 16 million, politically correct. That 16 million is in power, in political power. Both in military, army, police, 16 million. Give it to them. 200 million people are being pushed from pillar to post. There is nothing you can do. You are being pushed from pillar to post. There is nothing you can do. By few, 16 million against 200 million. What do you think you are? A coward. A coward. The fact that those Igbo leaders, the fact that those Biafran leaders, the fact that all these people, they watch how Mazen Nnamdi Kanu was picked up in Kenya like nobody. And they condone it. They act, he will scuttle our chances in 2023. Let's pick him up. The same way you might see one day they will pick up P2B. There is nothing you will do about it. They will pick him up one day. As long as DSS start doing their fake reports, that people are trying their chances to scuttle the inauguration that's supposed to take place so that there will be an interim president, he will be picked up one day like nobody. And there is nothing you will do about it. You will watch it and play. Because I want to tell Mazen Nnamdi Kanu ga join your door. Or ga join your door. Because if I what we are doing, if I that is all these people. You know, don't allow yourself for these politicians to deceive you. I have told you time without number. If you find P2B, come and tell you no way case me cool down, relax, this and that. Wolo kute to why ishi. Wolo kute to why ishi. Because when we wrote to we told him when he was going. We told him they are not going to give it to you. They will use you to waste our time. We told you people. Be truthful for once. You people that are affiliated to be one Nigeria will have a greater, better Nigeria. We told you. Why don't you confess? You can't. Because you live a lie. A life in infamy. It has actually transformed your medulla oblongata, your brain not to be functional the way in its appropriate functional manner. You can no longer reason. You can no longer see, the bigger picture. You are afraid of change because they have taught you how to navigate and live with your problems. Then you have no other way than to fight, to live with it, because they might kill you. This is how it is. Now let me reflect on the reason why you see all this rubbish happening. And I want you to know, pay very good attention. I want you to know that the project Nigeria as a project started in 1989. Or no, the project that they are carrying out today started taking place in 1989. That is the reason why everything you are seeing today, yesterday is better, today is worse, tomorrow is more worse than yesterday in Nigeria. Instead of you believing that Nigeria is going to be better, I want you to know that it is going to get worse. Prepare for that worse of Nigeria, because you don't understand that there has been a long-term planning written in a black and white on what Nigeria will look like in this day and what it is going to look like in the next 5 years. It is written and it is been acting, they are acting upon this declaration. That is the reason why let us reiterate and contextualize all these activities, shenanigan, division, and forcing you to be in love that does not exist, forcing you to be one in a very, very, will I call it, abusive relationship called One Nigeria. It is very abusive relationship called One Nigeria. Let us hear this Abuja Declaration 1989. That is the last one we will do. We will take some calls. Let me bring in actually the phone number to call, because we are going to take some calls to hear your opinion. Because of course what we see happening right now in Nigeria, it is something that is, if you are following the algorithm in Nigeria, you understand that it is something that is bound to happen. No matter how much in denial of it you are, it is something that is bound to happen. Let me place this number. It is going to be a WhatsApp call only. When I'm not going to take much call, but the ones who call first. It is in front of your screen, the number. I believe I placed it there. I don't know, but it is correct. So now, before we take to call, I placed it there, so you add it on your WhatsApp. You will call. Now let us go to this. The long-term planning that they had called Nigeria, the long-term planning. That's why things will continue to get worse. I hope so many of you are watching, or many of you who still believe that something good is going to come out of Nigeria. I hope that you are watching. I want to place it where you will be able to see it while I am reading. What I am reading right now, it is Abuja Declaration 1989. Remember that, of course, we've been telling you that there is a plan to Islamize Nigeria. There is a plan to Islamize Nigeria. And it is written on a black and white. And this is something that is written, and they know how long this plan is going to take in order to come to manifestation. Now let us read. Let us read. It says, the Abuja Declaration is the frequently given to the communique issued after the Islam in Africa conference held in Abuja, Nigeria between 24 and 28 November 1989. Conference was organized by the Organization of Islamic Cooperation, OIC, at that time called the Organization of Islamic Cooperation Conference. That was the conference where they make the declaration, and it agreed to set up the Islam in Africa organization. Islam in Africa organization. Now let's read the declaration. The declaration was to effect that Muslims should unite throughout Africa. Muslims should unite throughout Africa. The curricula at various educational establishments should conform to Muslim ideas. The education of women should be attended to. The teaching of Arabic should be encouraged, and Muslims should support economic relationship with Islamic areas worldwide. Are you paying attention? It noted that Muslims in Africa had been deprived of right to be governed under Sharia law, and they should strengthen their struggle to reinstate it, the Sharia law. They should reinstate the Sharia law. The Islam in Africa organization was formally established in July 1991, also in Abuja, and it has started its objectives. It has started its objectives since 1991. That is the reason why you see things continue to get worse in Nigeria. And that is the reason why you see Muslim ticket today. Now, have you now seen? I want to go to okay, let me read commentaries on it before we go to this before we go to Islamic organization in Africa. Now, John Chesworth, Director of Islam and Christian Muslim Relationship at St. Paul's on St. Paul's United Theological College, Kenya, and John Azuma, Senior Research Fellow, Akrofi Christola Memorial Center, Ghana, have reviewed the proceeding at the conference on the decision to set up the IAO. Heather Degan, Senior Lecturer in Cooperative Politics, Middlesex University, has commented more recently, Islam has adopted a liberating picture presenting itself as a religion which will wrest countries from their neo-colonial dependencies and ignoring the fact that it too was conquering and colonizing force in Africa over the longi durée. So they are reminding you that Islam is what the Crusaders who came to conquer some lands in Africa. They are reminding you that you are depending on this neo-colonialism. So it is time for them to actually teach you that Islam is actually a conquering and colonizing force in Africa over longi durée. So it came before the Western colonization. Hear it. The Eastern Africa Center for Law and Justice reports the declaration verbatim, but goes on to quote two other objectives which it says were omitted from the IAO website. It also severely criticized what it regards as the real objectives of the IAO. Raphael Oduru, Project Director, Voice Your Vote, Nigeria. Okay, now this is exactly where your problem lies. Because remember before we talk about this, I told you that Buhari, let me show you something again. Let me show you something from here. If you look at this picture here, let me zoom it so that you will see it better. You will see it better. Did you see? Buhari moved to strengthen Nigeria relationship with Iran. It is a channel TV who carried it. They moved to strengthen Nigeria relationship with Iran. It speaks volume to what is going on here. Muslim ticket. Abuja Declaration 1989 is in progress. Before I go to other commentary, let me go to OIA. Let us hear what this organization says exactly. The Organization of Islamic Cooperation, OIC, Arabic, Now, formally, the Organization of the Islamic Conference is an intergovernmental organization founded in 1969 consisting 57 member states with 48 being Muslim majority countries. The organization states that it is the collective voice of the Muslim world and work to safeguard and protect the interest of the Muslim world in the spirit of promoting international peace and harmony. The OIC has permanent delegation to the United Nations and European Union. The official languages of the OIC are Arabic, English, and French. It maintains various affiliated, specialized, and subsidiary organs. With the framework of OIC Charter, the member states had a collective population of over 1.8 billion as of 2015, accounting for the under and quarter of the population. The collective areas is 31.66 meter. I don't get that one. I didn't get that one. The collective area is 31.666 meter kilometer, something like that. Meter kilometer. I'm not very good with geography, but now let's go to the history. A fire was started in. Okay, there is something I want to show you from here. Let me try to go straight to the point because I don't have much time. On the 25th of September 1969, an Islamic conference, a summit representatives of 24 Muslim majority countries, most of the representatives being head of state, was held in Rabat, Morocco. Resolution was passed stating that Muslim government would consult with a view to promoting among themselves close cooperation and mutual assistance in the economic, scientific, cultural, and spiritual field inspired by the immortal teaching of Islam. 6 months later, in March 1970, the first Islamic Conference of Foreign Ministers was held in Jeddah, Saudi Arabia. In 1972, the Organization of the Islam Conference, OIC, now Organization of Islamic Cooperation, was founded, while the Al-Aqsa fire is regarded as one of the catalysts for the formation of the OIC. Many Muslims have aspired to a pan-Islamic institution that would serve the common political, economic, and social interest of the Ummah Muslim community since the 9th century. In particular, collapse of the Ottoman Empire and the Caliphate after World War I left a vacuum. According to its charter, the OIC aims to preserve Islamic social and economic value, promote solidarity amongst member states, increase cooperation in social, economic, cultural, scientific, and political areas, upholding international peace and security, and advance education, particularly in the field of science and technology. Okay, I am still far. Just one moment. Let me look for the particular place that concerns what we are talking about. You know, all these things, the places, member states. Okay, let's see the member states first. The The places I have seen. Okay, listen to the member state. Algeria, Benin, Burkina Faso, Cameroon, Chad, Comoros, Djibouti, Egypt, Gabon, Gambia, Guinea, Guinea-Bissau, Ivory Coast, Libya, Mali, Mauritania, Morocco, Mozambique, Niger, Nigeria, Senegal, Sierra Leone, Somalia, Sudan, Togo, Tunisia, Uganda, Afghanistan, Azerbaijan, Bahrain, Bangladesh, Brunei, Indonesia, Iran, Iraq, Jordan, Kazakhstan, Kuwait, Kyrgyzstan, Lebanon, Malaysia, Albania. These are in Asian world. So have you seen there are many more, but you have seen that Nigeria is part of them. So, but there is something very important I came across while researching on this. I don't know why I cannot pick it up. Something very, very important that I came across while reading this thing this afternoon. Just one moment. Okay, let me read this alternative declaration before maybe it is where I'm looking for. In 1990, another declaration was promulgated purporting to be from the 1989 conference, and which Franz Wiegersen, professor of world Christianity and interreligious relationship at Radboud University of Nijmegen, regard as a forgery because it does not correspond with the declaration made at the conference regarding Africa. It says that, among other things, that only Muslims should be appointed to strategic posts. Non-Muslim religions should be eradicated. Nigeria should become a federal Islamic sultanate, and Western law should be replaced with Sharia, which then regard this as indicating a more militant aspect of Islam in Africa, and comments that some aspect directly conflicts with official Islamic teaching. So not this one. This is when we started, when people started understanding the declaration, this was what they started adding towards this declaration in order to confuse the narrative of the declaration that is already there and being implemented slowly. Year by year, terrorists in Africa is going to increase. It is not going to, go back. Because what I am looking for, the one I am looking for, it is where they actually made it clear that they cannot allow infidel. They cannot allow infidel to rule over them. And that word, it is the word I have heard so many times from the Northern Coalition Group. I have heard such word which I read from this declaration from Northern Coalition Group several times. Let me see if I saved. I thought I saved it, but I did not. Commentaries. So what I am going to do, if I don't find that particular place where I am going to read, because that particular area, it was actually very clear on their agenda. It was very, very clear with their agenda, their plans. Let's see it in Islamic Africa religion. So while we are looking at it, while we are looking for it, if you have anything to say, you can call us. You can call in right now. Let me continue to look for it, because I believe that is the last thing that I have in my list before we call it a day. So if you want to call in, you can actually call in right now while I am still looking for it, because it is very, very important. And this even extended to so many African countries that I never even expected that their madness is going to extend to. But it is not surprising. I am going to look for it. We are going to expose it, so that you will know what you are going through in Nigeria and the reason why it is what it is today. So those of you who want to call in, the number is on the screen. You call us on WhatsApp. I will take your call on WhatsApp if you want to call in. While I am still looking for it, it will give me more time to relax and find it. The declaration was to the effect that Muslims should unite throughout Africa. Okay, now this one that says the declaration was to effect that Muslims should unite throughout Africa. The curricula at various educational establishments should conform to Muslim ideas. The education of women should be attended to. Okay, now, if you look at this, even this path that we have read, you will understand that in our land today, when you heard that people are learning Islam, people are learning how to read Quran in Arabic in Biafra land, they are teaching people Muslim Quran in Biafra land. It is part of the agenda. All these Fulani stooges you call governors in Biafra land, all of them are going to lead you straight to this long-term plan of Nigeria to be Islamized, following the other nation, because Nigeria is a very, very big, the giant of Africa, of course. Once they capture the giant of Africa, of course, you know that they have captured the biggest. So that is exactly the reason why they have to be bringing it to your curriculum. Last year, you heard that there was people that people are learning how to read Arabic Quran in our land. They are now taking it to everybody. to learn how to read Quran. Now let me touch on this history. On the 21st August 1969, a fire started in, a fire started in Al-Aqsa Mosque in Jerusalem. Amin as-Hussein, the former mufti of Jerusalem, called the arson a Jewish crime and called for a Muslim head of state to convene summit. The fire, which destroyed part of the old wooden roof and an 800-year-old pulpit, was blamed on the mental illness of the perpetrator. No, it's not what I am looking for. So what I'm going to do is that we are going to reiterate on this. I'm going to reiterate on that. But what that area that I am actually looking for, because there is a lot of things here. It says that one Muslim is better than more than two infidel. One Muslim is better than more than two infidel. That's exactly what I am looking for. I can't. It is a different link. It is different link. I can't just. Just one moment. No, we will come back to it. That's what we have to do. We will come back to it. We have to come back to it. I cannot find. I thought I saved that link of this. I thought I saved the link. But unfortunately, I did not. There are many links to it. There are many things that is connected to this. But anyway, since we can't find it, the most important thing is that I have delivered the message that we are here to talk about. So this evening, morning and afternoon, depending on where you are, don't forget that what we are looking for, it was actually where they said that you that is not a Muslim, you are an infidel. And there is no way an infidel will become a leader. There is no way an infidel will become a leader of a Muslim. So this is part of this declaration, but it has its own special link, which I didn't remember where I clicked. I thought that I saved that link, but unfortunately, I couldn't find it right now. But I know that I will find it and I will bring it to you. Very importantly, it is for you to know and understand that this Muslim ticket you see going on in Nigeria, it is actually an agenda. It is a project that is not unconnected to this Abuja Declaration 1989 that we are dealing with. That is exactly what we are seeing right now. That is exactly what we are seeing. Tinubu is now going to actually implement this project because number one is that they are going to use him. They are using him to actually bring this core Muslim Islamic State into Nigeria. Of course, the breaking into the Nigeria military facilities last year or 2 years ago, it is actually part of the plan. They have the database of Nigeria. Don't forget, you see these Yoruba people that are actually saying that it is their turn and they are going to rule over you. I want you to remember and mark my word today. While they are trying to protect Lagos, believe you me, a lot is happening. While they are trying to protect Lagos, a lot is happening. Fulani is going to overwhelm them because, of course, you know that the problem is that Fulani they don't know who is who because they see you as long as you are not core Muslim, you are an infidel. And that is the problem that many people in Nigeria does not want to understand, that keep on clamoring for one Nigeria. All these our political leaders, what you call political elite, the governors that is coming from the eastern region, I want you to know that these people have become Fulani stooge. When you give them money, they denounce whom they are. They become whom the Fulani want them to become. That is exactly what drives these people. That is the reason why they make sure that they marginalize you. Because of course, it is in the eastern region you find most Christian in Nigeria. The most Christian in Nigeria, the biggest amount of Christian in Nigeria is in eastern region. True or false? And that is the reason why it is very difficult for these people to give an eastern region man a leadership that he will be there for 8 years. Why do you think Obama came in between Goodluck Jonathan's regime and promoted this guy that died, Buhari? Because Obama is also a Muslim. He is a Muslim. If there is Islamic State to declaration in Nigeria, he is going to enjoy it. This is the reason why he knows about the declaration, how they want to Islamize Africa. How they want to Islamize Africa. That is the reason why he made sure he promoted. This is direct promotion. This is the direct promotion. He makes sure that they voted Goodluck Jonathan out. And they voted their Muslim brother in. That is exactly what it is. So, the fact that he is he was a president of the United States. Don't forget that United States, what they do most of the time is they go into these Islamic countries, nations. They are working hand in hand with Islamic people. That is the reason why they are able to control, manipulate them, make them do what they want them to do, give them guns, make them to go and form a rebel somewhere. It is part of the project. So for you to know, whether you like it, you love it or don't like it, they work with them. So that is exactly the reason why all hands must be on deck right now for us to restore our dignity, for us to restore our territorial integrity. We are not against their Islamization. We are not against their Muslimization. All we are against is imposing more, imposing it on us. We are not Muslim. Imposing it on us is the problem that we must resist at all costs. And how are you going to resist it? It is by coming in now and demanding for what is rightfully yours. How will you do it? You see, Nigeria has stopped you from protesting. Peaceful conduct. They have killed you for the sake of peaceful conduct. It is now for you to now find another way to show your grievances. Go and switch off all these tabs that is giving them whatever that they are using to oppress you. That is what you need to do. That is exactly what you need to do. You come out to protest peacefully, they kill you. If they find you, military, Nigeria army of conquest, they are all over the place killing people. So what do you think that is going to save you? Of course, yourself. Yourself, you are going to save yourself. Because this Tinubu regime that DSS is actually reporting, they are trying to scuttle this, they are trying to bring interim president, they are being insecure. Mazen Nnamdi Kanu must be released because the Igbo elite that are the reason why Mazen Nnamdi Kanu is there. Their Igbo presidency has come and gone. They are still delaying in the name they are going to court. They are looking for something to do. There is nothing will come out of it. They should get over it. They should demand for the release of Ohamadike. They should call, they should request for the release of Mazen Nnamdi Kanu. Because if they refuse to do so, these people are Fulani Stooge. They are actually part of the project because they are the ones who are going to sell you in the hands of these people who see you as an infidel. Islamic State. They will sell you. They have built the biggest mosque in Ebonyi State under the regime of Devil Omahi. Hope Uzodimma moved a motion to start marrying off our women to Fulanis. Is that not Islamization agenda? It is. Because their woman will never marry you as an infidel. Why would they want to come and marry your women? Women of infidel. Why would they want to come and marry your women? But their women will never marry you because you are seen as an infidel. You cannot even touch them. So they want to marry your women in order to emasculate you. If they find opportunity, they kill your men. They marry your women. They will totally emasculate that community. That's what they do. But so many of you will be there saying it does not concern me. It is not my business. It will not reach me. By the time he gets there, I have fly abroad. I will take my family to go abroad. You will not even see it coming. You think abroad is going to be safe. Go and read the book of Isaiah 13. It is not going to be safe. Go and read Isaiah 13. For you to know it is not going to be safe. That the time is now. You need to do everything to make sure that you go home and build yourself. Go home and establish yourself. It is about home now. It is about home now. Don't forget, it is about home now. You must go home and re-establish yourself. It is time for our people to bring their support towards this quest for the restoration of Biafra, the land of Elohim in the face of this planet. The only thing that is going to stand to challenge every religion that they're going to impose on you, the one that the European has imposed on you, it is the one that you are trying to understand. Talk more of them trying to impose another on you with a Sharia law thereof. How are you going to survive? Tell me, how are you going to survive? It is a pity. It is a pity. So it is important, if you have anything to contribute towards this program, you can call in. The number is on the screen, a WhatsApp call. We are going to end this program in the next 5 minutes. In the next 5 minutes, if you call in now, you will bring your contribution. If you don't call, I will know that you agree with me and no objection, and then you go ahead and implement what we talked about. Very, very important, because we need to make sure that we show Nigeria that we are not, we are not piece of paper. We need to show them that we are human beings, we have feelings. As long as they continue to screw us, as long as they continue to make us to feel like we are not human. Police brutality, extortion, but human body parts extortion. Now, the whistleblower that was actually being dealt with in Anambra State. I don't know what Soludo did about it, because I did this program few days ago. I don't know what Soludo has to say about them prosecuting a whistleblower who he was an IT consultant for the police, where he blew the whistle that people are extorting human organ and harvesting human organ and extrajudiciously killing people in the name they are criminal and possessing their properties. That was the what whistleblower blew, and they actually started using the same people that was captured in the whistleblower's testimony. They are using them to question the whistleblower. They are using them to, they arrested the whistleblower. They put him in a police custody without presenting him to court because he committed no crime. They want to rip you off every right you have as a human being. They want to take away every right you have as a human being. If you don't act now, you will never get it right. It is now for you to rise up and act. If the international community believe that you are overreacting, ask the international community. When they kill you, when you are peacefully protesting, what did they do? They did nothing. They watched it and they say it's all right. Why is it that when you are now going to explore every other possible means for your voice to be heard, because you are being killed on a daily basis, you are imposing many things that is not of you, in you, they are imposing it on you. There is nobody that is there to speak for you. Nobody is going to do this fight for you except you. You need to rise up. Use that energy you use for P2B, because P2B era is finished. Except if he is going to be ignorant to tell you, to advise you that next year, 4 years time, that they are coming back, they are not giving up. Like I said, if he tell you that you should come down and relax, we are coming back in 4 years time. Welo put it to why yishi. Welo put it to poor yishi. Because he want to ruin your life. When he said he will run abroad, where he have 15 million in his offshore. Or said you're born abroad. Which plane is going to take you? Do you even have a money for plane ticket? You don't. These politicians are sorted. Their families are in abroad. They are making you rally around them. He has failed. He didn't deliver. Because he did not agree that Nigeria can never do something right. Nigeria can never give the people what they want. Nigeria will always do what they want for themselves. Those few people, few individuals in the political space, they do what they want. They give you middle finger. They tell you, screw you. There is nothing else they will do. And you continue to, take it in. Swallow it without complaining. They will continue to do it. If you come out to complain right now, they shoot at you. You need to now draw an alternative means where you must get your voice heard. Let them say, as long as you are not endangering the life of those whom you are ought to protect, as long as you are not endangering the life of anybody, whatever you can do to make sure your voices are heard by the international community, by the United Nations, be it going to switch up that oil pipe that gives Nigeria oil. It is in your land. You can do it. It is obtainable. Then you show your grievances through that means, because there is no other means possible that you are going to let your voice be heard. You are not allowed to protest. You will be shot at like animal. Military are all over your land, in Biafra land, killing people on a daily basis, burning buildings, bringing down buildings, ransacking villages. Military that is supposed to be protecting the country during the time of war, or during the time of this state of emergency or the state of disaster. Is there any declaration of state of emergency in Biafra land? The answer is no. Is there any declaration of state of disaster in Biafra land? The answer is no. Why then is there a presence of military and they are killing people, shooting sporadically at innocent youth, killing them, reducing your population? That is part of the emasculation that they are planning to do with you. While Hope Uzodinma is marrying your women to Fulani. In case if you don't understand it, you need to start understanding it right now. Because tomorrow they will say we are inciting violence. Lai Mohammed will come and lie on the social media. It is not the way it is. Something me and you and the whole world saw. Lai Mohammed will come and change it. And the international community might agree with him. That's what they do. Nobody is representing you out there. It is only you against the world. So we need to actually come up with what we can do to defend ourselves. So I believe we have tried. We have tried, and I am going to call it a day. I am going to call it a day. Great and wonderful people of Biafra, lovers of freedom all over the world. I guess you agree with me. I guess we are on the same page. So we will do it again tomorrow if need be. If the space occur, we will do it again tomorrow. Until we meet again, stay safe and stay informed. Bye for now.